Hello and welcome to the Everyday English Podcast. I'm Anna, and today we're going to dive into one of the most important lessons for English learners: 12 English tenses. Understanding tenses is essential because they tell us when an action happens, whether it's in the present, the past, or the future. Tenses help you communicate clearly, describe events, tell stories, and share your ideas in English with confidence. Without knowing tenses, it can be difficult to explain exactly when something happened or is happening, which can make your English confusing or unclear. In this episode, we'll go through each tense step by step. I'll explain the meaning of each tense, give simple and easy to understand examples, and then provide a short practice sentence that you can repeat aloud. Repeating the sentences is very important because it trains your brain to form English sentences naturally. This way, when you speak, you won't have to think too hard about grammar. You'll just know how to use the tense correctly. We'll start with the present tenses, which we use for habits, routines, ongoing actions, and experiences that connect the present moment. Then we'll move on to the past tenses, which help you describe actions and events that have already happened, including actions that were ongoing or completed before other past events. Finally, we'll cover the future tenses, which allow you to talk about plans, predictions, and actions that will continue up to a certain time. By the end of this lesson, you will have a complete understanding of all 12 tenses, and you'll be able to use them in your own conversations and writing. Don't worry if this feels like a lot at first. The key is to take it slowly, practice regularly, and repeat the example sentences out loud. Tenses may seem difficult at the beginning, but when you practice a little every day, your confidence and fluency will grow quickly. So let's get started and make English tenses simple, clear, and easy to use in your daily life. Ready? Let's begin. The present simple tense is one of the most important tenses in English because it is used to talk about habits, routines, general truths, and facts. Whenever you want to describe something that happens regularly, repeatedly, or as a general rule, the present simple is the tense to use. For example, you can say, I wake up at 7 a.m. to describe your daily routine, or the sun rises in the east to talk about a fact that is always true. It is also used for habits, such as I drink coffee every morning, or she goes for a walk after lunch. Notice that in the present simple, for most subjects, we use the base form of the verb, but for third person singular subjects like he, she, or it, we add an AL at the end of the verb. For example, he studies English every day, or she likes chocolate. The present simple is also very useful for expressing feelings, opinions, and preferences. For instance, you can say, I like reading books, or they enjoy listening to music. Using the present simple in this way helps you communicate your thoughts and daily life clearly and confidently. One important point is that this tense is not used for actions happening at this exact moment. For that, we use the present continuous tense. Instead, the present simple focuses on regularity and general facts, which makes it one of the easiest tenses to practice every day. To practice the present simple tense, try making sentences about your own life. For example, say out loud, I study English every day. I eat breakfast at 8 a.m. Or I walk to work every morning. The more you repeat these sentences, the more your brain becomes familiar with the structure, and speaking in the present simple becomes automatic. You can also make short lists of your daily habits, Or write a paragraph about your routine using the present simple, such as I wake up at 7 a.m., I brush my teeth, I drink coffee, I go to work. Practicing in this way will help you remember the correct verb forms and use them naturally in conversation. Remember, using the present simple daily is a simple but very powerful way to improve your fluency in English and speak confidently about your life and daily activities. The present continuous tense is used to describe actions that are happening right now or around the current time. Unlike the present simple, which talks about habits, routines, and facts, the present continuous focuses on temporary actions or events in progress. The structure of this tense is am is our plus verb plus ing. For example, you can say, I am reading a book if you are doing it at this very moment. Or, she is watching TV right now, to describe an action happening at the time of speaking. You can also use it to describe temporary situations that are ongoing, such as, I am staying at my friend's house this week, or he is working on a new project these days. This tense helps your listener understand that the action is in progress or not permanent, which makes your English more precise and natural. The present continuous is also used to describe actions that happen around now, even if they are not happening exactly at this second. For example, you can say, I am learning English this month to indicate an ongoing activity. Additionally, it is used for future arrangements or planned events. For instance, I am meeting my friend tomorrow, or they are traveling next week. Shows a definite plan in the near future. These examples show how versatile this tense is and why it is important for everyday conversations. To practice the present continuous, start by describing what you are doing right now. For example, say out loud, I am listening to this podcast. I am drinking coffee. Or I am practicing English. Then try describing temporary situations in your life. I am reading a new book this week. I am working on my project. Or I am learning new words every day. Practicing with your own actions helps your brain connect the correct structure to real life situations. Repetition is key. The more you say these sentences aloud, the more naturally you will be able to use the present continuous tense when talking to others. Remember, the present continuous is all about what is happening now or temporarily. So try to notice these moments in your daily life. The more you describe your actions, surroundings, and plans using this tense, the faster your English will become fluent and accurate. Using it every day for small, simple sentences is one of the best ways to improve your speaking and listening skills. The present perfect tense is one of the most useful tenses in English because it connects the past and the present. We use it to talk about actions that happened in the past but still have an effect or result in the present. The structure of the present perfect is have, has plus past participle. For example, you can say, I have visited London to show that at some point in the past you went to London and now you have that experience. Another example is, she has just finished her homework, okay, which means the action is completed, but it's very recent and connected to the present moment. This tense is different from the simple past because it doesn't specify exactly when the action happened. It focuses on the result or the experience rather than the exact time. The present perfect is also used to talk about experiences, achievements, and changes over time. For instance, I have learned many new words this week. Or They have traveled to 5 countries, shows experiences that are still relevant. You can also use it for actions that started in the past and continue up to now, especially with time expressions like for and since. I have studied English for 2 hours. Or she has lived here since 2015. Using these expressions helps make your sentences more specific and gives more context to your actions. To practice the present perfect, start by making sentences about your own experiences or recent actions. For example, say out loud, I have eaten breakfast already. I have read a new book this week. Or, I have met many new people this month. Then try using time expressions. I have worked here for 3 years. Or, I have studied English since last year. Repeating these sentences helps you understand the structure and how it connects past actions with the present. Remember, the key to mastering the present perfect tense is to think about experiences, recent actions, and results rather than focusing on specific times. Practicing this tense daily, even with simple sentences, will help you speak more naturally and confidently. Using it in real life conversations about your life, your experiences, and what you have done recently will make your English sound fluent and professional. The present perfect continuous tense is used to describe actions that started in the past and are still continuing in the present. It is especially useful when you want to emphasize how long an action has been happening. The structure is have, has plus been plus verb ing. For example, you can say, I have been studying English for 2 hours, which shows that the action started 2 hours ago and is still ongoing now. Another example is, she has been working here since 2015, meaning she started working in 2015 and continues to work here today. This tense is different from the present perfect because it focuses on the duration or ongoing nature of the action rather than just the result. We often use the present perfect continuous with time expressions such as for, since, or all day. For instance, I have been reading this book for 3 hours, or yes, he has been waiting for the bus since 8 a.m. These expressions give more details about the length of time an action has been happening. This tense is also used to describe temporary situations or repeated actions in the recent past. I have been practicing my English every morning. Or, they have been staying at their friend's house this week. By using this tense, you can explain not only what you have done, but also how long you have been doing it, which adds clarity and richness to your English. To practice the present perfect continuous, try describing your own ongoing activities. For example, say out loud, I have been learning English for 1 year. I have been cooking dinner for the last hour. Or, I have been exercising every day this week. You can also use it to talk about temporary situations or recent activities. I have been reading a new book this week. Or, she has been working on a new project for 3 days. Repeating these sentences helps your brain connect the correct structure with real life actions, making it easier to use naturally in conversation. Remember, the present perfect continuous is all about duration and ongoing actions. When you use it in your daily English practice, you will improve your ability to speak about ongoing activities clearly, describe how long things have been happening, and sound more fluent and confident. Try to use it in your daily conversations, writing, and speaking exercises to make your English more natural and expressive. The past simple tense is used to describe actions that started and finished in the past. It is one of the most common tenses in English because it allows you to talk about events, experiences, or situations that happened at a specific time. The structure is simple. For regular verbs, we usually add ed to the base verb, such as I watched a movie yesterday or she played tennis last weekend. For irregular verbs, we use their unique past forms. For example, I went to the park or they ate dinner early. Using the past simple tense helps you communicate clearly about completed actions without confusion about timing. We use the past simple to talk about actions that happened at a definite time in the past, even if we don't always mention the exact time. For example, I visited London last year, or he called me yesterday. Time expressions such as yesterday, last week, last month, ago, or in 2010 are often used with this tense to make the timing of actions clear. It is also used to tell stories or past events. I went to the market, bought some fruits, and returned home. This makes your English sound natural when describing past experiences, trips, or daily activities. To practice the past simple, try making sentences about your own past experiences or completed actions. Say out loud, I studied English yesterday. I watched a movie last night. Or, I visited my friend last weekend. You can also create short stories about your day or week. I woke up early, ate breakfast, and went to work. Repeating these sentences helps you remember the correct verb forms and makes it easier to use them in everyday conversation. Remember, the past simple is all about actions that are finished. By practicing this tense daily, you will be able to describe your experiences, tell stories, and talk about events clearly and confidently. Using it in writing, speaking, and even in small daily reflections about your day will improve your fluency and help you sound more natural in English. Start with simple sentences and gradually add more details to make your stories more interesting. The past continuous tense is used to describe actions that were happening at a specific moment in the past. Unlike the past simple, which talks about completed actions, the past continuous emphasizes that an action was in progress at a particular time. The structure is was, were plus verb plus ing. For example, you can say, I was cooking dinner when you called, or they were playing football at 5 p.m. This tense is very useful for setting the scene or describing background actions in the past. It helps your listener understand what was happening at a particular moment and adds more detail and depth to your storytelling. The past continuous is also often used to describe actions that were interrupted by another event. For example, I was watching TV when the phone rang, or she was reading a book when it started to rain. In these sentences, the past continuous shows the ongoing action while the past simple shows the interrupting event. You can also use it to describe parallel actions happening at the same time in the past. I was studying while my brother was listening to music, or they were talking and laughing all evening. This tense gives your English more richness and helps you express complex situations clearly. To practice the past continuous, start by describing what you were doing at a particular time yesterday or last week. Say out loud, I was reading a book at 8 p.m. yesterday. I was cooking dinner when my friend arrived. Or they were playing football all afternoon. You can also create short stories combining the past continuous with the past simple. I was walking to work when I saw a beautiful bird. Repeating these sentences helps your brain remember the correct structure and makes it easier to use naturally in conversation. Remember, the past continuous is all about actions in progress in the past. By practicing it daily, you will be able to describe scenes, tell stories, and explain what was happening at specific moments more clearly. Using it in daily reflections, journaling, or storytelling will improve your fluency and make your English sound more natural. Start with simple sentences, then gradually add more details about time, people, and actions to practice expressing complete ideas. The past perfect tense is used to describe an action that happened before another action in the past. It helps show the order of events and makes your storytelling clearer. The structure is had plus past participle. For example, you can say, I had finished my homework before dinner, or she had left when I arrived. In these sentences, the past perfect shows which action happened first, and it helps the listener understand the sequence of events. This tense is especially useful when talking about past experiences, plans, or events that occurred in a specific order. We often use the past perfect with words like already, just before, after, or by the time. For example, I had already eaten before my friend came, or he had just left when it started raining. These words help add clarity and context to your sentences. The past perfect is different from the simple past because the simple past only tells that something happened without showing the sequence. For instance, I ate dinner and then watched TV is simple past, but I'd eaten dinner before I watched TV uses past perfect to emphasize that the eating happened first. To practice the past perfect tense, start by thinking about your own day or week and what happened before something else. For example, say out loud, I had studied English before I went to bed. I had cleaned my room before my parents arrived. Or, she had already left when I called her. You can also create short stories using this tense. I had finished my work and then I went for a walk. Repeating these sentences will help you internalize the structure and use it naturally when telling stories or describing events in English. Remember, the past perfect is all about showing which past action happened first. By practicing this tense regularly, you will improve your ability to talk about events in the past clearly and in order. Using it in daily conversations, journaling, or even explaining your day to a friend will make your English sound more fluent and organized. Start with simple examples, then gradually add more details about time and actions to strengthen your understanding and confidence. The past perfect continuous tense is used to describe an action that started in the past, continued for some time, and was completed before another action in the past. It is especially useful when you want to emphasize the duration of a past activity. The structure is had plus been plus verbiing. For example, you can say, I had been studying for 2 hours before my friend called, or she had been working at the company for 5 years when she got promoted. In these sentences, the past perfect continuous highlights not just that the action happened, but how long it was happening before another past event occurred. This tense is often used with words like for, since, and all to show the length of time. For example, he had been waiting for an hour when the bus finally arrived. Or, I had been practicing English all morning before the class started. Using the past perfect continuous helps you give more precise information about the timing and duration of past actions, which makes your English more descriptive and natural. It is different from the past continuous, which only talks about an action in progress at a specific moment, because the past perfect continuous always connects the duration of an action to another past event. To practice the past perfect continuous, start by describing situations from your own life. For example, say out loud, I had been cooking for an hour before my guests arrived. She had been reading all morning before lunch. Or, they had been waiting at the station for 30 minutes when the train came. You can also combine it with past simple sentences to tell stories. I had been working on my project for weeks before I finally finished it. Repeating these sentences will help you remember the structure and use it naturally in conversation. Remember, the past perfect continuous is all about actions that were ongoing for a period before another past event. Practicing this tense daily, even with short sentences, will improve your ability to tell stories, explain sequences, and describe past experiences in detail. Using it in conversations, writing exercises, or journaling helps your English sound fluent, clear, and professional. Start simple, then gradually add more details about time, duration, and actions to strengthen your understanding and confidence. The future simple tense is used to describe actions that will happen in the future. It is one of the most basic and important tenses in English because it allows you to talk about plans, predictions, promises, and decisions. The structure is will plus base verb. For example, you can say, I will study English tomorrow, or she will visit her friend next week. Using the future simple helps you communicate confidently about what you intend to do, what you think will happen, or what you promise to do in the future. We often use the future simple to make predictions about what might happen. It will rain tomorrow, or I think they will win the game. It is also used for promises and offers. For example, I will help you with your homework. Or, don't worry, I will call you tonight. Another common use is spontaneous decisions made at the moment of speaking. I'm tired. I think I will take a nap. Or, I will open the window. These examples show how versatile this tense is in everyday conversations. To practice the future simple tense, start by making sentences about your own plans or predictions. Say out loud, I will wake up early tomorrow. I will cook dinner tonight. Or, I will call my friend later. You can also make short promises or offers. I will help you study English. Or, I will take care of it. Repeating these sentences will help you remember the correct structure and feel more comfortable using it in conversation. Remember, the future simple is all about what will happen. By practicing it every day, you can talk about plans, promises, and predictions clearly and confidently. Using it in daily conversations, journaling, or speaking exercises will help you sound natural and fluent. Start with simple sentences and gradually add more details, such as time or reason, to express complete ideas about the future. With regular practice, the future simple tense will become a natural part of your English communication. The future continuous tense is used to describe actions that will be happening at a specific time in the future. Unlike the future simple, which talks about single actions or decisions, the future continuous emphasizes that an action will be in progress at a certain moment. The structure is will plus be plus verb ing. For example, you can say, I will be studying English at 8 p.m. tonight, or they will be traveling to Paris this time next week. Using the future continuous helps you describe ongoing actions in the future and makes your English sound more natural and precise. We also use the future continuous to describe parallel actions in the future, where two or more things will be happening at the same time. For example, I will be cooking dinner while my sister is cleaning the house. Or, he will be studying while his friends are playing outside. This tense is useful when you want to show what will be happening during a specific period or when you are planning your schedule. Another common use is polite questions about someone's plans, such as, will you be using the car tonight? Or, will they be joining us for dinner? This shows respect while inquiring about future activities. To practice the future continuous tense, start by describing your own plans for the future. Say out loud, I will be reading a book tomorrow evening. I will be working on my project at 3 p.m. Or, I will be exercising while listening to music. You can also combine it with other sentences to describe simultaneous actions. I will be studying English while my friend will be watching TV. Repeating these sentences will help you internalize the structure and use it confidently in conversation. Remember, the future continuous is all about actions in progress at a specific future time. By practicing this tense every day, you will improve your ability to talk about future plans, schedules, and simultaneous activities clearly and naturally. Using it in daily speaking, journaling, or planning your day in English will make your communication more fluent and professional. Start with simple examples and gradually add more details about time, people, and activities to strengthen your understanding and confidence. The future perfect tense is used to describe actions that will be completed before a specific time in the future. It helps show that one action will finish before another moment or event occurs. The structure is will plus have plus past participle. For example, you can say, I will have finished my homework by 8 p.m. Or she will have left the office before we arrive. Using the future perfect tense allows you to talk clearly about the completion of future actions, which makes your English more precise and professional. We often use the future perfect with time expressions like by the time, before, or already. For instance, I will have completed the project by next Monday, or he will have arrived before the meeting starts. This tense is especially helpful when making plans, setting deadlines, or talking about achievements in the future. It shows that an action is expected to be finished at a certain point, which is different from the future simple or future continuous that focus on actions happening or ongoing. To practice the future perfect tense, start by making sentences about your own future goals or plans. Say out loud, I will have learned 10 new words by the end of today. I will have cleaned my room before my parents come home. Or, she will have finished reading the book by tomorrow. You can also use it in combination with other tenses to tell short future stories. By the time we get to the party, they will have already started eating. Repeating these sentences helps your brain remember the structure and makes it easier to use naturally in conversation. Remember, the future perfect tense is all about completion before a specific future time. By practicing it daily, you will improve your ability to talk about future achievements, deadlines, and planned actions with clarity and confidence. Using it in planning, journaling, or conversations about your goals will make your English sound fluent and professional. Start with simple sentences and gradually add more details about time, people, and actions to strengthen your understanding and confidence. The future perfect continuous tense is used to describe actions that will have been happening for a certain period of time before a specific point in the future. It emphasizes the duration of an action rather than just its completion. The structure is will plus have plus been plus verb I ning. For example, you can say, by next month, I will have been studying English for 2 years. Or, she will have been working at the company for 10 years by 2025. Using this tense helps you explain not only that an action will happen, but also how long it will have been happening, which adds depth and precision to your English. We often use the future perfect continuous with time expressions such as for, by the time, or since. For instance, by 6 p.m., I will have been cooking for 3 hours. Or, by the end of the year, they will have been living in this city for 5 years. This tense is also useful for describing ongoing activities in the future that will have a clear duration before another event occurs. It is different from the future perfect tense, which focuses on completion, because the future perfect continuous focuses on how long the action will have been in progress. To practice the future perfect continuous, start by thinking about your future activities and how long they will last. Say out loud, by tomorrow evening, I will have been reading this book for 3 days. By next week, I will have been exercising every morning for a month. Or, by the end of this year, she will have been teaching English for 10 years. You can also combine it with other tenses to tell detailed stories. By the time we arrive, I will have been waiting for 2 hours. Repeating these sentences helps your brain remember the structure and makes it easier to use naturally in conversation. Remember, the future perfect continuous is all about duration before a future point. By practicing it regularly, you will be able to talk about long term plans, ongoing activities, and future achievements in a precise and fluent way. Using it in conversations, planning, or journaling will make your English sound more professional and natural. Start with simple examples, then gradually add details about time, people, and activities to strengthen your understanding and confidence. Now you've learned all 12 English tenses, their meanings, examples, and practice sentences. Remember, practice is key. Repeat the sentences aloud, write your own examples, and try to use these tenses in daily conversation. With regular practice, your English will become more natural, fluent, and confident. Thank you for listening to the Everyday English podcast. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episode.